the orange juice in your fridge right now, the one that says 100% pure, not from concentrate, freshly squeezed, hasn't tasted like an orange in months. The flavor you taste every morning, it was engineered in a perfume lab. A premium carton of Tropicana or Simply Orange now runs you between $5 and $7. And most of that money isn't paying for oranges. It's paying for marketing, and it's paying for flavor engineering. The same fragrance companies that formulate perfumes for Dior and Calvin Klein are the companies designing the taste of your morning juice. That's not conspiracy. That's the industry's own admission. So I'm going to show you the 5 brands to throw out of your fridge tonight. I'm going to show you 4 brands that still actually squeeze oranges into a bottle. And the best one, it's cheaper than Tropicana. You just have to know where to look. I spent 3 weeks auditing every carton on the shelf to find the truth, reading labels, reading lawsuits, reading FDA dockets, and the results were not what I expected. Here's what actually happens to an orange after it gets picked. Florida oranges are harvested seasonally, mostly October through April. They get squeezed, they get pasteurized, and almost immediately the juice gets pumped into massive aseptic storage tanks. Some of those tanks hold up to 1 million gallons. Before the juice goes in, oxygen is stripped out, which is set through a process called deaeration. That's how they keep it from spoiling. Juice with no oxygen can sit in those tanks for up to a full year. No bacteria, no fermentation, no spoilage. But there's a problem. When you strip the oxygen out of orange juice, you also strip out every volatile compound that makes it taste like an orange. What comes out of those tanks 12 months later is essentially flavorless yellow liquid. So how does Tropicana taste like oranges? They add the flavor back in. Before bottling, the juice industry hires fragrance companies, the same ones making Dior and Calvin Klein perfumes, to engineer what they call flavor packs, custom chemical blends designed to make stored juice taste fresh squeezed again. The packs made for the North American market are loaded with a compound called ethyl butyrate. That's what Americans associate with a sweet candy-like orange taste. The packs made for Mexican and Brazilian markets use different chemicals, per cedar, balancing decanols, because those consumers prefer a different flavor profile. And here's the legal trick. Flavor packs are technically derived from orange peel oil and orange essence. So under FDA rules, they don't have to be listed as a separate ingredient. That's how a carton that spent 11 months in a storage tank can legally say 100% pure, not from concentrate on the front. The flavor you taste is real. It's just not from the oranges they squeezed. Why do they do it? Math. Real fresh juice has a shelf life of 30 days. Storage tank juice has a shelf life of 2 months or more. One of those scales to a global grocery chain, the other one doesn't, and it gets worse. The current FDA standard for pasteurized orange juice, 21 CFR 146.140, requires that the juice contain at least 10.5 degrees Brix. That's a measure of how much actual orange is in the juice. In August of 2025, the FDA proposed to lower that minimum down to 10 degrees at the request of the citrus industry. And while the rule is pending, the agency has already said it will exercise enforcement discretion for juice falling between the two numbers. So while you're being told your juice is pure and natural, the standard defining what pure orange juice even means is actively being weakened, and they never told you. The skip list. Skip number 1, Tropicana Pure Premium. Flip the carton. You'll see an image of an orange with a straw stuck into it. You'll see the words 100% pure and natural orange juice, not from concentrate. It's meant to convey one thing, fresh squeeze. The reality is colder. Tropicana Pure Premium sits in deaerated tanks for up to 12 months before bottling. The flavor gets restored with an ethyl butyrate heavy flavor pack engineered by fragrance chemists. The fortified versions, Trop 50, calcium, and D, add gums and low-calorie sweeteners on top. In January of 2012, a woman named Angelina Lewis filed a class action lawsuit against Tropicana in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of California. The complaint alleged that the 100% pure and natural and not from concentrate claims were misleading because of flavor pack processing and deaeration. Tropicana also got named that same year in the carbendazim fungicide scare, an unapproved pesticide found in the Brazilian orange imports feeding American juice supply. The lawsuit eventually got dismissed on class certification grounds, but the processing practices, Tropicana never disputed them because they couldn't. Skip number 2, Simply Orange. The name itself is the marketing, Simply Orange. The implication is obvious, nothing but oranges. The carton says 100% pure squeezed orange juice. The reality is that Simply Orange uses the same deaeration and flavor pack process as Tropicana. plus something worse. In 2012, a man named Randall Davis filed a class action lawsuit against Coca-Cola in Illinois federal court. Same theory, deceptive labeling, flavor packs, industrial processing. But then came 2024, a new lawsuit, Lawrence versus Coca-Cola. Independent third-party testing reportedly found PFOA and PFOS, forever chemicals, in Simply tropical juice, at levels more than 100 times the EPA's lifetime health advisory for drinking water, 100 times. This is the carton with sunshine on the label. This is the juice that said all natural ingredients. This is what was in it. Skip number 3, Minute Maid. Minute Maid is the original frozen concentrate brand from the 1940s, and that tells you most of what you need to know. Most of the Minute Maid lineup is still reconstituted from concentrate. Water gets added back in at bottling. The premium line uses flavor packs just like Tropicana and Simply. The fruit punch and lemonade products stack on high fructose corn syrup, sucralose, artificial colors, and preservatives like sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate. Here's the twist. In late 2011, Coca-Cola itself alerted the FDA that they had detected the fungicide carbendazim in Minute Maid juice sourced from Brazilian growers. The FDA confirmed levels up to 35 parts per billion. That fungicide is legal in Brazil, but under US federal law, it's an unlawful pesticide chemical residue. Coca-Cola didn't report it because they were heroic. They reported it because the contamination was so widespread across the industry, they had to get out ahead of it. And the FDA declined to issue a recall. Skip number 4, Florida's Natural. This one hurts more than the others. Florida's Natural's entire marketing pitch is that they're a grower-owned co-op. We own the land, we own the trees, we own the juice. The implication is that they're the honest alternative to Big Juice, the local option, the one that didn't sell out. The reality is that the co-op ownership structure doesn't change the processing line. Florida's Natural uses the same aseptic deaeration, the same long-term tank storage, the same flavor restoration before bottling. They've been named alongside Tropicana, Simply, and Minute Maid in every major flavor pack investigation for roughly 3 decades. That's the betrayal. The consumer buying Florida's Natural was doing their homework. They were trying to escape the big 3, and the brand used that impulse to charge them a premium for the same industrial process. Skip number 5. Sunnied Sunny sits in the juice aisle. Bright orange bottle, sunshine imagery. Parents grab it for lunchboxes. Sunny D is not legally orange juice. It's legally classified as a citrus punch. Total fruit juice content from concentrate is 2% or less. Let me read you the actual ingredient list. Water, high fructose corn syrup, and 2% or less of concentrated orange juice, concentrated tangerine juice, concentrated apple juice, concentrated lime juice, concentrated grapefruit juice, concentrated pear juice, citric acid, ascorbic acid, thiamine hydrochloride, natural flavors, modified cornstarch, canola oil, sodium citrate, cellulose gum, sucralose, acesulfame potassium, neotame, sodium hexametaphosphate, potassium sorbate, yellow 5, yellow 6, calcium disodium EDTA, 3 artificial sweeteners stacked on top of high fructose corn syrup, 2 dyes, yellow 5 and yellow 6, linked in peer-reviewed studies to hyperactivity and allergic reactions in children, canola oil in a juice product, because you need an emulsifier to carry artificial flavors. That is not orange juice. That is an orange-flavored chemistry experiment, and it's being marketed to your kids. Before I tell you what to buy, let me show you how to audit the carton already sitting in your fridge. You don't need a lab. You need 4 tests. Each one takes less than 30 seconds. Test number 1, the shelf life test. Pull the carton out of your fridge right now. Look at the sell-by date. If it's more than 6 weeks out from today, that juice has been through deaeration, long-term tank storage, and flavor restoration. A 30 to 45 day shelf life is the signature of minimal processing. 60 plus days. Curing is the signature of industrial processing. Test number 2, the first ingredient test. Flip the carton. Read the ingredient list out loud. If it says just oranges or orange juice, you're probably fine. If you see natural flavors or citric acid or ascorbic acid or any other juice concentrate, walk away. The rule is simple. If the list is longer than 1 word, something has been done to this juice. Test number 3, the foam and separation test. Pour glass. Real fresh squeezed juice foams heavily when poured, and it naturally separates into layers within a few hours. The pulp sinks. A clearer layer rises to the top. Flavor pack juice stays suspiciously uniform. It doesn't separate. If your week-old carton still looks perfectly mixed, you're drinking a stabilized industrial beverage. Test number 4. The sniff test. Buy 2 cartons of the same brand from different stores. Or compare this week's carton to next month's. Open both. Smell them side by side. If they smell identical down to the molecule, that's engineering, not agriculture. Real oranges vary, real juice varies. Consistency in a natural product is the signature of industrial standardization. The real list, real number 1. Natalie's Orchid Island 1 ingredient on the label. Oranges, that's it. Natalie's uses something called gourmet pasteurization. Minimum temperature, minimum time. Just enough to meet safety standards. The result is a shelf life of 30 to 45 days. The signature of minimal processing. No preservatives, no concentrates, no flavor packs, no GMOs, no added sugar. The brand was founded in 1989 by Mary Grace and Bobby Sexton in Fort Pierce, Florida. Bobby was a 4th-generation Florida citrus grower. Mary Grace started squeezing juice in her family kitchen because she wanted her infant daughter, Natalie, to have clean juice. The brand is literally named after her daughter. That kitchen operation grew into a women-owned, family-run business that now does roughly $140 million in annual revenue, about $7 to $9 for a 32-ounce bottle. Available at Publix, Whole Foods, and most Southeast and Northeast chains. More expensive per ounce than Tropicana. But you're paying for oranges, not fragrance. Real number 2, Uncle Matt's Organic 1 ingredient. Organic orange juice. USDA certified organic, which means no synthetic pesticides, no GMOs. And also certified glyphosate residue free by the Detox Project. A certification almost no other juice brand in America can claim. Uncle Matt's is a 4th-generation Florida citrus family based in Claremont. The orange varieties themselves, a blend of Hamlin and Valencia, have been developed by the family over 4 generations. They transitioned the groves to certified organic decades before organic citrus was mainstream. Today, Uncle Matt's is the nation's #1 selling organic orange juice brand, about $7 to $9 for a 52-ounce bottle. You can find it at Whole Foods, Sprouts, Kroger, Publix, and Walmart. Real number 3, Evolution Fresh 1 ingredient, organic orange juice. But Evolution Fresh does something different. They use a technology called high pressure processing, HPP. Here's the trick. Instead of heating the juice to kill pathogens, which is what strips out flavor and forces brands to add flavor packs back in, HPP uses intense pressure, no heat, no flavor loss, no flavor pack needed. Evolution Fresh was founded in 1992 in Bellevue, Washington as a cold-pressed juice pioneer. The HPP technology was their competitive mode, a fresher product with a shorter shelf life. Exactly the opposite of the Big Three's tank storage model. Starbucks acquired them in 2011 and scaled them into national retail, about $6 to $8 for a 59-ounce bottle. Available at Starbucks, Target, Kroger, Safeway, and Whole Foods. Real number 4. 365 by Whole Foods. If you only remember one brand from this entire video, remember this one, because this is the one they don't want you to notice. And it's cheaper than Tropicana. 365 is the Whole Foods Market private label. 1 ingredient on the bottle, organic orange juice. No added sugar, no flavor packs, no preservatives. Whole Foods confirmed this on the record to ABC News during the original flavor pack expose more than a decade ago. 365 juice does not use flavor packets and does not use long-term storage tanks. That position has held ever since. Here's the thing most people don't understand about store brands. Most of them cut costs by lowering quality. 365 inverts that. It cuts costs by eliminating marketing, not by eliminating ingredients. About $4 to $6 for a 59-ounce bottle. That's often cheaper than Tropicana Pure Premium for organic, single ingredient, flavor pack-free juice. You're paying less for the real thing than you were paying for the fragrance. That's the swap. That's the win. Here's what just happened. You learned that the juice industry has been selling you engineered flavor at a premium price for 30 years. You learned that the FDA is quietly lowering the standard while nobody's watching. And you learned that the single cheapest real orange juice in America is sitting on a shelf at Whole Foods, costing less than the fragrance engineered stuff you were buying yesterday. Your morning glass isn't a commodity for these corporations to optimize. Your health isn't a margin they get to expand. You have the right to know what's actually in your juice. The label can't lie if you know how to read it. Subscribe. Because next week we're auditing the dairy aisle. You're going to want to see what we found in your butter.